Bienvenidos a las los lecciones de Austin Guitarras. Okay, bastante de mi malo español. Ahora, welcome to our homepage, right? We've been doing this for days. Took a long weekend off, but we're going to continue with our lesson of the day. You're probably learning now it's not every day. It's when I can. My artist Yoshi is coming to town Thursday from Atlanta, so I'm going to have to switch hats over to tour manager, business partner for that weekend. But we'll keep producing past that. But anyway, that aside, check this out. So if you've done these before, you know the preamble. Here we are again. We are on austinguitarlessons.com, my wonderful website, and we are discussing all the wonderful free things within. How do you get them? We go to free resources. Boom. What do we get? First thing, sign up, please. Drop your email in here, all right? You'll get on the newsletters. You'll get notified of good stuff. Most importantly, you'll get this free Accents Methods PDF of my book, which you can also buy here in Method. But when you get the Method, it's a sound slice method, so you're going to get the PDF version of the book plus streaming video and streaming tab, etc. If you want the whole package, which is obviously the best way to learn, that's $40. Money's tight. Go to free resources. Boom. Drop your email in there. You get a free book. It's also paper print. If you want a paper version of it, you get the PDF saying, you're like, this is awesome. I wish I had a paper book. I want to give it to somebody. $10 on Amazon. You want to give them the free PDF? Well, they can sign up here, or if they're obstinate, you can spend $3 and get a Kindle PDF off Amazon. All right, so that's that. We've gone over the Ear Trainer. We've gone over Jam Track Station. Last episode, we went over the Scale Master Virtualizer. And today, we get to AGL Beat Lab. All right, what is that? It's pretty simple. This is a OG 16-step drum machine. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm just trying to provide you with a basic tool for practice, and this does it. So what do? Well, we hit play. And, I hear it in the headphones. It's not really so bad. Through the phone, it sounds pretty crummy, but I like it. That sounds like a decent kick. So that's just one example. Where are we here? All right, there's my clean channel. This just gives you a beat, and it's a lot more fun than a metronome. And it depends what you're practicing on. So you'll notice here, what do we got? Kick on 2 and 4, snare on 1 and 3, what's known as a backbeat. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, snare on 2, snare on 4. That's backbeat. All right, now our kick is just doing the standard kick. What if you want to funkify it a little bit? Well, right now, you can see here we got 4 blocks per kind of grid area, and these are set to 8th notes. So here's our tempo, right? Now you can hear that hi-hat in there going, right? That's this little, you can't see me point, but that's the little orange line on hi-hat. So hi-hats are hitting on, what are we doing here? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, they're hitting on 8th notes. All right, so the spaces in between are 16th notes. So these are how we can kind of funkify a little bit, right? Adding 16ths kind of adds a little funkification. I am no drum machiner, programmer, master, anything like that, right? I'm not a DJ. I don't make this stuff, so I'm just giving you the nuts and bolts how it works, all right? Maybe you want to open. That sounds terrible. Yeah, not much of a open hi-hat there. Maybe add some claps to make the backbeat better. Anyway, have fun with it. That's the way it works, right? And then you also have just basic presets. All right, so depending what you want to find, we got different. And then we got, what do we got? 3 basic kits. There you go. All right, so that's the machine itself. You know, your computer's got outputs, so you know if you need to make a beat, or you did make a beat and you liked it, and you don't have a drum machine, there's no reason you can't record with this. That's not the purpose, though. The reason for this is to give us something fun to play against. So we've been concentrating on Dorian. I think last time we did D Dorian, but let's just go to A Dorian. All right, so this is just, instead of just having a metronome, something more fun to play against. Now that sounded a little weird. I mean, I was on time, but with all those weird accents, it kind of feels weird to play straight 8s against that. Here's a more straight, right? This is just rock. All right, so that's more straightforward. Now I'm going to give you real quick my method of practicing. Where's our, we must have tempo on here. Come on. Let me look here. Playing. Oh, BPM. Here's your slider. So this method of mine, the accents method, it starts at square one. So that doesn't mean you can't use it if you know how to play, because there might be stuff that you haven't learned, or at least stuff I want you to learn. But also, if you are a absolute beginner, this will take you from square one. It's not an easy method, but it is a method. So when you're starting from scratch, right, you need to slow things down. You notice here I've lowered the BPM, beats per minute, to 60, so 1 beat per second. Mostly this is a slow beat, all right? Just as a kind of a benchmark, 120 is kind of considered the optimal dance beat. It might have changed since then, but back in the day, you know, producers, etc., you want to hit 120. This is apparently, I think it's kind of like a fast walk or whatever, but this is kind of a frequency now. It's a tempo that resonates with humans. So 120, if you want to get people up and moving their ass, 120 is around that. Now, you know, you get into like techno and stuff, they start pushing to 140, right? It's going to be harder to bust a move to, but it's got its own vibe. Bebop, right? You know, they're pushing it all the way up here. They'd be swinging it though. So let me show you how the swing works here. I turn swing on. Now we're only on the downbeat, so you won't hear it. But now when I hear the other half of the 8th notes, right, you can hear the hi-hats on the 8th notes aren't even, right? They're going, right? That's a shuffle. Now we turn it off, back to what I call straight time, all right? So that's what swing means. When you see swing on a chart, like you're learning a song and it's tabbed out and it'll have like a little 8th note equals blah, blah, blah. That's showing you that something has a swing fill, and all that means is instead of doing straight 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we're actually swinging it. So we're taking it as a triplet feel, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and we're tying those first two together. So we're getting long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, da 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 da. That's how you swing something. It's a triplet feel. All right, that's why that's in there. So like if we're gonna go, we must have blues in here somewhere, or not. Whatever. What do we have? I don't know. What's Motown? Let's see what Motown is. Hip hop, funk. All right, so funk, if you want to turn this into a blues, might need to add a blues beat. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. The main point of this exercise here, of this Beat Lab, is not to help you beef up your recording studio. There's lots of beats, free beat makers, etc. available. The main thing is just that you have this in the website as one more tool. So when we're learning stuff, you can go through, work on your fingerings, and then now we can work on our timing. All right, so back to slowing it down to 160 or down to 60. All right, 61, close enough. So when you're learning, you got to play slow. Made a mistake playing slow. Oh, that's a good stopping point. All right, so that's quarter notes. Da, da, one note per beat. Obviously very slow, but while you're still learning, getting your left and right hands working together, it's good to practice slow. Speed is unimpressive unless you can articulate cleanly. All right. Fast speed without articulation is just garbage, and you can go to Guitar Center any day if you want to listen to that. Conversely, you can listen to a guy like Steve Vai. He doesn't even sound, or you watch him and it looks like he's barely moving his hands. It sounds fast, but it doesn't look fast. That's economy of motion and practice and being badass. That's what happens. This is how you get there. So, quarter notes. We start out with quarter notes. Now, as you get faster and faster, you're going to juice this beat. So, maybe it's a month later now and you've been playing your Dorian scale, A Dorian, diligently for the last month. Right? Now we're getting where we can play our quarter notes pretty good. I want you to work up until you get to 120. Right? Close enough. All right, so now... Now, as I do that, watch my right hand. I'm only doing downstrokes. Why do I do that? Because we're playing on downbeats, all right? So you want your hand to be just like this metronome. When my hand comes down, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm hitting the downbeats with my downstrokes, right? Very intuitive. What's the other half? That's my upstroke. Right? That's my upbeat. So you hit your upbeat with your upstroke. All right. Then, so that's the next thing, right? We've gotten to 120, and we're going to add that upbeat, which is eighth notes. So we'll bring it back down here to our 60. But now, you hear that little tick of the hi-hat? That's your upbeat. So we're playing the same speed note-wise as we did quarters at 120, but now we're playing eighth notes, and you're learning a different syncopation. All right, when you break up rhythms, that's called syncopation. And notice my right hand, when I start doing eighth notes, now I'm going down, up with my picking. All right, that's important. This is the easiest way to play rhythmically, and the easiest way to sound like a not good guitar player is to not play rhythmically. Everybody concentrates on notes, speed, tone, all that's important. If you don't got rhythm, you're never going to be a great one. You listen to Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, whatever. Their mastery of rhythm is insane, okay? Eddie Van Halen is playing light speed. You slow down Eruption to 1/3 speed, and you go, oh, okay, I hear Eric Clapton now, because he articulates it perfectly, but you just don't even hear it because it's just so, well, you do hear it, but it's just so fast, it just turns into these phrases. This is, again, how you get there. All right, so I digress. We just did eighth notes on 60, right? And then we bring, right, day by day, we are increasing our beat on our drum machine till, let's say, I don't know, Merry Christmas, all right? It's December, and you've been working on this since you saw this video in August, and now you're at 120 on my AGL Beat Lab, and you can bust out eighth notes at 120, all right? So here we go. All right, and again, also, you know, if you're playing electric guitar, you probably want to play in a band, so getting used to playing with the drummer is good. You're probably not going to play in a band with a metronome. You're going to play with a drummer, so get used to what the drums sound like and how they play. All right, so now I got that mastered. What do? I go back down, all the way down to 60, but now we're going to do 16th notes, 4 per beat. 1 E and... All right, 1 E and a, 2 E and a. That's how I count 16ths, all right? Eighths are just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 16ths. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. All right, so now we're doing 16th notes, and now we're gonna bring that up to 120. Come on. Eighth time was the best. None of them were perfect. Pretty sloppy. You can hear when playing starts losing its smoothness, it's getting percussive. You're hearing the pick attacks, right? I'm tensing up. I barely touched the guitar in years. Getting back into it, but you can hear it, right? 120, I can barely, like that's my top speed. I used to be able to bust that out, probably more like 140. So, you know, that's what I've lost in not practicing for years and being an old fart and all that stuff. Conversely, again, if you want to be fast, especially if you're young, you know, your body works best when you're young, go for it, all right? But this is how you get good, clean speed, not garbage, note fart salad. I don't know what you call it. But you want to sound good and articulate, you have to understand rhythm, you have to execute it cleanly. That's how you get your sound to cut, all right? So there you go, AGL Beat Lab. I think that's a good place to stop. As we go forward in lessons and we get back into scales, I'm going to go over some of this again. So, you know, don't worry. I'll go over, you know, the picking, etc. There's lots more to get into, you know, sequencing. Oops. You know, or... et cetera, different rhythms, triplet, you know, real quick, check this out. All right, so that's just a straight rhythm with triplets against it. We're gonna get all that. These are all the things that, the little wrinkles that you get in your playing where you can really start finding your sound, the little wrinkle that you make, your little particular slur, or your rhythmic phrase, or whatever. When you get good, the ultimate compliment is, wow, you know, I've never heard anything like that. You sound like yourself, right? I mentioned Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen, right? You put on a tune with those guys playing on it, and within, you know, the first note on the guitar, you know who it is. They got a tone, they got a touch, whatever, they got a voice. All right, that's more important than anything else. If you want to be the next whoever, you got to find your voice and be honest. Be yourself. If you're chasing whatever you think is happening, it's too late. It's already gone, and the next cool thing is building. So you might as well build it. And I'll sign off with that. I hope it helps you. Later.